All right, are you ready to dive into something a little different?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're going to be taking a look at this article called The Benefits of Cross-Dressing as a Stress Relief Tool.
Okay.
Um, and I gotta say, I was a little surprised by the title,
Mhm.
but that's what we do here, right? We explore those unconventional paths to well-being.
Right.
And this is definitely an unconventional path, so.
Yeah, it is. It's really fascinating how this article uh, it kind of shines a light on something that I think is often misunderstood.
Yeah.
Um, for a lot of people, cross-dressing, it's not just about the clothes. It's about a journey of self-discovery
Okay.
and finding a way to kind of shed those expectations that society puts on us.
Mhm.
And surprisingly, it can be a really powerful tool for stress reduction.
I'm sure, a lot of our listeners right now are kind of like, hold on, how does that work? That was
Yeah.
my initial thought too. But the article makes a pretty compelling case.
Yeah.
And they start with kind of the concept of conformity and the stress that it can generate. Right.
Have you ever, how often do you feel this pressure to kind of fit into certain molds or play different roles throughout the day?
Oh, absolutely.
It's exhausting.
All the time. It is. It's like we're all wearing these metaphorical masks in different situations and, constantly adapting to what people expect of us.
Right.
And, that can really take a toll
Yeah, it can.
on our mental and our emotional well-being.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about this article is that it positions cross-dressing as a way to kind of break free from those roles.
Okay.
Like it creates this space where you can just exist authentically as you are.
So you're stepping out of those predefined boxes or whatever and into a space where you can just be yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that act of self-expression, I think, is where the stress relief kicks in.
Mhm.
The article actually goes into the science a little bit behind it.
Okay.
And specifically, it talks about the role of dopamine.
Okay.
This neurotransmitter that's often referred to as the feel-good chemical. Right.
Is released when we engage in activities that we enjoy, whether it's, listening to music or spending time with loved ones,
Right.
or for some people, exploring their identity through cross-dressing. And that surge of dopamine can really counteract those negative effects of stress.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like finding that thing that truly lights you up, right?
Yeah.
Or that passion that helps you to de-stress and recharge.
Exactly. And here's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
This article highlights a study that was done on cross-dressers,
Okay.
and it measured their cortisol levels, which is the hormone that's associated with stress.
Mm-hmm.
And the study found that participants actually experienced a significant drop in cortisol
Wow.
after they engaged in cross-dressing activities.
Okay.
What's really fascinating is that this decrease was actually even more pronounced than what's typically observed with other relaxation techniques like meditation.
Wow. That's a pretty compelling piece of evidence. So for some people, it seems like cross-dressing goes beyond just a simple hobby and actually taps into this much deeper level of stress reduction.
Yeah, definitely.
But what about the social aspect of this? Does the article touch on that at all?
Yeah, it does. It emphasizes how important community and belonging is,
Right.
particularly for people who might feel, marginalized or misunderstood in other areas of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Connecting with others who share similar interests and experiences, that can create a really powerful sense of validation and acceptance.
Right.
And that can really help reduce feelings of isolation and stress.
So it's kind of like finding your tribe, right?
Like that.
That group of people who get you
Yeah.
and, celebrate your uniqueness. And that shared understanding is almost like a buffer against the pressures of the outside world.
Precisely.
Okay.
And, that sense of belonging, I think, can also really help foster a sense of confidence and self-esteem, which the article highlights as another key benefit of cross-dressing.
Right.
When you feel comfortable and authentic in your own skin,
Right.
it doesn't really matter how you choose to express yourself. It can have a really positive ripple effect on other areas of your life.
Yeah, it's like that feeling you get when you're rocking an outfit that makes you feel amazing, you know?
Yeah.
It's not just about the clothes themselves, it's about that inner confidence that shines through.
Right.
And I think it impacts how you interact with the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever noticed how, just feeling good about how you look can affect your whole day?
Oh, for sure.
It's almost like you're carrying that positive energy with you
Yeah.
everywhere you go.
It's like this little secret weapon.
Yeah, it is.
And, it's interesting. The article also connects cross-dressing to mindfulness,
Okay.
which is a concept that's often associated with, meditation and relaxation techniques.
Right.
But the process of selecting outfits, and experimenting with different styles and paying attention to detail requires a certain level of focus and
Right.
presence
Right.
that can actually be surprisingly meditative.
So it's kind of like finding mindfulness in these unexpected places, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It reminds me of how people find that sense of calm and focus when they're really absorbed in hobbies that they love,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's, gardening or painting or even just organizing their sock drawer.
Right, right.
That dedicated attention, that focus can
Mhm.
be incredibly therapeutic.
Absolutely. It seems like finding those activities that allow us to kind of escape from all of the, constant mental chatter
Mm-hmm.
and really be present in the moment
Yeah,
are really crucial for stress reduction.
right,
And for some, that escape might be found in the world of cross-dressing,
right.
you know? So it's about finding those outlets that allow us to kind of disconnect from the daily grind and really connect with ourselves on a deeper level. And for some, that might involve stepping into a different persona,
Yeah. Right.
and experimenting with makeup and clothing to kind of create this look that feels both empowering and liberating. The article touches on how that process can actually be really therapeutic
Okay.
and allow individuals to kind of explore their identity
Yeah.
in this safe and private space.
So it's not just about the outward appearance, but also that kind of inner journey of self-discovery.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about challenging those, internal narratives that we all have
Mm-hmm.
about who we are supposed to be
Right.
and giving ourselves permission to just explore different aspects of our identity.
We talk a lot on the share about the importance of self-acceptance,
Right.
but we don't always acknowledge the role that self-expression plays in that journey,
Mhm.
right? It's like sometimes you need to break free from those, societal constraints
Yeah.
and just explore different sides of yourself to truly understand and embrace who you are.
And in that exploration, we might uncover, hidden passions or talents, or even just a deeper understanding of what brings us joy.
Right. And that kind of brings us back to the core theme of this whole deep dive, stress relief.
Yeah.
It's just fascinating to me how something, as seemingly simple as experimenting with clothing and makeup
Right.
can have such a profound impact on well-being.
Yeah, it really highlights the importance of finding those outlets that allow us to express ourselves authentically,
Mhm.
whatever form that may take.
Right.
And as the article points out, sometimes those outlets can be found in the most unexpected places.
Absolutely.
It can be a way to kind of step out of the everyday,
Mm.
to shed those, societal expectations
Right.
and embrace a different persona,
Right.
even if it's just for a little while.
So it's like creating a temporary escape from the pressures and demands of daily life.
Exactly.
Our way to kind of recharge and return to the real world,
Yeah.
feeling refreshed and renewed.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that escape can be incredibly liberating. And it allows people to kind of tap into a sense of freedom
Okay.
and playfulness that might be missing from their everyday routines.
It's like that feeling you get when you're on vacation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where you can just kind of let go of those everyday worries and just be present in the moment.
Exactly. And just like a vacation can provide a much-needed break from stress, so too can engaging in activities that allow us to express ourselves authentically,
Right.
whether it's through cross-dressing, pursuing a creative hobby, or just spending time in nature.
Right. Yeah, it seems like we forget to make space for those little moments
Yeah.
of joy and self-expression.
Absolutely. And, it's funny, the article suggests this need for escape, for stepping outside of ourselves
Okay.
as a very human thing.
Right.
It's not limited to any particular group
Right.
or any particular activity.
Right.
Think about, like how popular cosplay is,
Yeah.
theme parks.
Mm-hmm.
Even just like putting on a fancy dress for a night out.
That's true.
It's like we all crave those opportunities to shed our everyday identities and embrace something different,
Yeah.
something that lets us tap into a different side of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So whether that's through cross-dressing or some other form of self-expression,
Right?
the takeaway here is that it can be really good for us,
Yeah.
mentally and emotionally.
Absolutely.
So as we start to wrap up this deep dive, what are your final thoughts?
Mm.
What should our listeners be thinking about as they go forward?
Well, I think the most important thing is to just approach this topic with a sense of curiosity
Right.
and an open mind.
Okay.
We've seen how something that might seem at first unusual,
Yeah.
maybe even controversial, can actually give us some really valuable insights
Right.
into the human experience.
It's a good reminder that there's always more to learn
Absolutely.
and more to understand and
Yeah.
just more ways to find, joy and relief from the stresses of everyday life.
Exactly. And maybe this has sparked some new ideas for our listeners. And, maybe our listeners, maybe they have some new ideas now
Yeah.
about how to, you know, deal with stress in their own lives.
Right.
Or maybe they just, have a better understanding now
Yeah.
of how other people live and what makes them happy.
Right.
It's all about keeping an open mind.